Did you have any special difficulty in dating Elvis? How did it affect
Not really, no. Maybe because of my youth or whatever. I'm a very adaptable person, and it just sort of seemed very right and very natural. When you love someone, they suddenly, it wasn't Elvis on the marquee anymore. It was Elvis with a little E. It was just a human soul that I happened to love.
What were dates with Elvis like?
Dates with Elvis consisted of riding golf carts around Graceland, or riding motorcycles or three-wheelers, or going to movies that he had rented out. He would rent an entire theater out and show movies all night. And he enjoyed going roller skating occasionally. He would rent the fairgrounds out and ride the roller coaster 15 times in a row, that sort of thing.
But he would never, ever go anywhere in disguise or try to go?
No, incognito. Because he had his own walk, he had his own stance. There was no way that he could really disguise who he was. Not effectively. We tried going out a few times shopping, and we would make it halfway between the car and the door of the store. And, people would just be all over us. They would converge immediately, and we would have to run back to the car. So it was very difficult for him to get out like a normal person.
Why do you think Elvis felt the need to be so generous?
It almost got to be second nature with him. It was just a facet of his character, like drinking a lot of water or whatever. That was just part of his nature. And it was really astounding if you just sat back and pondered for a few moments about the extent of his generosity. It was incredible. And it began, he told me the story, and I think it's really a sweet little story. When he was 9 years old, he said that he got saved in the Christian sense. And they were very, very poor in Tupelo, Mississippi. Elvis's family. He said he was dirt poor. And he suddenly was just filled with this wonderful spirit. And all he had in the world were comic books. So he took all of his comic books and he ran out into the street and he started giving his comic books away to all his little neighbors. And I thought, what a really sweet story, because that generosity never stopped. That spirit of giving stayed with him throughout his life.
What kinds of things bothered him? What kind of things did he like to talk to you about?
I think probably the thing that bothered him most was that he was an intensely lonely person at heart. He felt that, he was so alone in his fame and in his thoughts, as we all are. I often said to him, gosh, you possess so much love. So many people love you in so many different ways. And he said, but you don't understand, it's not a personal love. They don't know me. They don't know what goes on inside me, what my thoughts are, what my feelings are, what my background is. They know what they've read and they love me, and I appreciate that love, but they don't love me in a personal way. So it was important to him to have people around that he felt did love him in a personal way.
What was driving Elvis? Was he always trying to be the king?
He never tried. It just happened. He had no idea that he was as sexy as he was on stage. He was brought up in a Pentecostal church. Emotions are bare and raw, in the South even, but particularly in the Pentecostal religion. They're not afraid to display their emotional content, and they certainly do during services. And he was brought up in that sort of atmosphere, so he was used to moving when he was singing, and that was just a very natural thing for him to do. And he had no idea that it turned a lot of people on, and turned a lot of people off.
What got to him at the end? Was it his frustrations or what?
I think yes, he was frustrated in the sense that he had done everything that he could do at that point in his career, and he wanted to progress. He wanted to go on. He wanted to tour Europe. He wanted to make a very legitimate, decent film that would provide him with the proper vehicle to display his acting ability. He could have been a terrific actor, and he was frustrated in that respect, I think.
In show business and in the recording industry, many people move out to the West Coast, out to Los Angeles, but Elvis never did that. He always kept his roots here and kept his home in Memphis. Why do you think he did that?
I think it makes a very positive statement about Elvis's character that he did choose to maintain his home in Memphis, because those were his roots. That's where his family was. And the South has its own sort of culture, its own lifestyle, and a slower, easier pace, and the people here are more salt-of-the-earth people, more normal people. And I think that he tried to maintain some sort of semblance of normality in his life, and that was his way, one of the ways in which he tried to do that. So I think that does make a very positive statement about him, that he didn't get caught up in the Hollywood life.